Hello, my name is Suzet Sermersheim, a founder and CEO of EES, which stands for Earthwise Energy Solutions. Here at EES, we believe in maximizing cost efficiency through renewable resource alternatives, and we're dedicated to helping our consumers save money, while simultaneously reducing their carbon footprint and minimizing other harmful effects on the environment. Did you know that according to EnergyStar.gov, the average American spends an estimated $130 a year in energy costs, and according to the EPA, outputs around 320 pounds of carbon pollution just to run one refrigerator unit? Well, EES's latest innovation offers a simple and affordable solution to combat these statistics with a product that we're calling the Natural Switch. We'll first have our top marketing executive, Tannah Ceader, explain just what this product is and how it works with the help of EES's co-founder and project's lead engineer, Andy Craig.
The Natural Switch was first conceptualized a few years ago at EES as a system that makes use of the chilly temperatures experienced during the colder months here in the Midwest as a means of reducing the workload of a common household refrigerator. The product's design can be thought of very simply as a section of ductwork that connects the inside of a refrigerator to a hole in the wall, a design similar to that of a clothes dryer. The idea behind this being that the cold outdoor temperatures would lower the internal refrigerator temperature without the appliance itself having to be put forth any effort. Of course, there is much more going on than just that, but with this picture in the mind, let's take a look at it. The Natural Switch's basic schematics. Here you can see, just like I previously mentioned, that one of the ductwork breaches the exterior of the fridge, while the other end is exposed to the air outside via a glass gate, so that airflow can be controlled manually, allowing for the gate to be shut during warmer months.
You'll find a small fan positioned in the ductwork such that it sucks in the cold air from the outside and blows it into the refrigerator. You'll also notice that the fan is wired to what's called a personalized control board, or PCB for short. A PCB board is programmed with what's called a source code, and that source code allows it to operate and control any connected components. In this case, we're using the PCB board to disrupt the pre-existing circuitry from the refrigerator and replacing it with our own side circuitry. To do so and create the side circuit, we need the pre-existing thermostat from the refrigerator and an NTC thermistor. A thermostat is a temperature-activated switch, meaning that it turns off and on in response to the temperatures that it's experiencing. And it is found inside the fridge. And the thermistor, which acts as the electrical thermometer, will be positioned outside the house so it can read the temperatures out there. The Natural Switch's cooling process begins when the thermostat inside of the fridge is tripped as a result of the internal temperature exceeding a set value. At this point, an electrical current can now flow from the thermostat to the thermistor, which is located outside of the house. The thermistor then verifies that the outside temperature is indeed cold enough to cool down the fridge. When all these conditions are satisfied, the PCB board sends a signal to the fan to tell it to turn on, and it will continue to run until the internal temperature of the fridge reaches a value low enough to untrip the thermostat, therefore killing an electrical signal, turning all of this off, and resetting the process, allowing it to repeat itself. You may have noticed, however, that a problem will arise if the thermistor reads a temperature outside of the house that is too warm to actually cool down the refrigerator. The solution to this problem, however, lies within this final component attached to the PCB board, whose function is not important. All we have to know, or remember, is that this component actually completes the pre-existing circuit that we disrupted. Therefore, when it's too warm outside, the source code would tell the PCB board not to activate the fan like it normally would, but instead to send a signal to activate this component, which then actually recompletes that initial circuit here, which allows the compressor to be activated to cool down the fridge the normal way, like the manufacturer would have intended.
Even with the refrigerator still running during the warmer months, the Natural Switch nearly halves energy costs and carbon emissions, as well as prolonging the life of the appliance. However, what I think has to be one of the most exciting features of our product and what really set this innovation apart from our competitors is that the entire project has been published under a personalized Creative Commons license. This means that anyone, anywhere, has full access to all documents, data, source code, etc. that was a part of the natural switch. All we specify is that when recreating or republishing the designs, they must be shared alike and may not be used for profit by anyone except us. Besides being a great way to promote what EES stands for, releasing the Natural Switch as an open source project appeals to a large community of hobbyists who are very supportive of such innovative products.
To try and reach the demographic our product appeals to, we focused our advertising efforts towards magazines and websites that might interest creative and industrious individuals. To even further incite these individuals into purchasing our product, EES is selling the Natural Switch as a semi-DIY kit that requires some degree of craftsmanship experience to assemble. When you place an order for a kit, you will find that you are able to choose the exact materials you need from us, as to avoid upselling any additional and unnecessary components. For example, the full kit includes ductwork, a fan, writing, electrical components, our PCB, and various mounting hardware. The average hobbyist, however, likely already owns many of the parts and materials listed and would therefore only need to purchase a select few components. To further highlight the impact of marketing to the Natural Switch as an open source product, we spoke with a man named Seth Bennett, an early supporter of our product as well as an enthusiastic hobbyist. He walked us through how we built this rendition of the Natural Switch and then went on to discuss how he came to find the project as well as what he found so appealing about it.
Hello, my name is Seth Bennett. I live just outside of Des Moines, Iowa. I work part-time as a janitor at Samsung and still company secrets for Apple. I remember the first time I became interested in the Natural Switch. Towards the beginning of last year, because I can recall reading your advertisement on the back of a Popular Mechanics December issue and thinking to myself, they're right, it doesn't make much sense that my refrigerator is constantly running when there's 2 inches of snow on the ground. I remember being very excited when I saw that EES had released the product's code and designed as an open source project. I've successfully made a number of in-home DIY projects in the past, so I didn't hesitate to get started on this one. Right away, I inventoried my supplies and saw that I needed to order some electrical components, as well as the PCB board from you guys. A few days later, when the package had arrived, I wasted no time opening it and getting straight to work. I was lucky with my fridge was right up against an exterior wall in the kitchen, so I first had to cut a hole into my fridge with a reciprocating saw, then used the same tool to cut a hole in my wall. I properly mounted the ductwork with all the necessary wires being fed through it. Then I located the thermostat inside the fridge and integrated the PCB board with it. I left my refrigerator alone for about 5 minutes and then heard the fan kick on to blow the cold air from outside into my fridge. The project was a success and I completed it within a day quite easily. As for what I found so appealing about the Natural Switch, I'd say was initially drawn in by the sense of independence the innovation had in terms of what else was on the market. I also love the feeling of pride that I get after completing a difficult task, especially one that is carried out individually. And perhaps the product's greatest appeal of all was not only its economic benefits, but also its ecological benefits. Because just like the people at EES, I am all for saving both my money and our planet.